we have a big task ahead of us. The transition is significant, and it requires a joint endeavor, and it requires also to put our heads together and to share the intelligence. We've talked about the Clean Industrial Deal as a vehicle that drives a lot of action these days in the European Union. And the Clean Industrial Deal tries to be the response to the challenge of the sustainability agenda at large, and to put it and to confront this challenge with connecting it as an opportunity for harnessing economic opportunities and to deal with these two imperatives, the competitiveness and decarbonization, but also in broader terms, the sustainability together. And again, we talk both about what we can do in the EU and what we can do internationally. Amaryllis quoted the State of the Union speech of our President von der Leyen in the Parliament, where she spoke about the power of the European Green Deal and our determination to stay the course. The Clean Industrial Deal focuses on the energy-intensive sectors, but also on the clean tech manufacturing and on the circular business models. And the objective is to give the predictability, which was just mentioned now, the innovation and the scale that is needed to respond to the twin challenges. Excuse me. And we need to make sure that we are able to have the economic prosperity and the European way of life, and at the same time do the deep carbon cuts, and how we can do it in a mutually reinforcing way. The co-legislators are debating now the European climate law that the amendment that should bring in the 2040 target on the pathway between what is the 2030 legislation, the Fit for 55, and the 2050 climate neutrality that we have committed ourselves to achieve on climate and as a contribution to the Paris Agreement. And I'm happy to report that we are on track for 2030. We are seeing the reductions of emissions. We are seeing that the translation of the Fit for 55 into the national plans shows that we have a clear plan how to achieve, and that makes us confident that this is the pathway forward. And of course, we need to recognize how this reconciles with the other challenges that we have in Europe, and this is not just competitiveness, but it's also security and a number of other combined challenges where actually climate and sustainability is very much connected. And we need to do more. We need to be smart about how to combine our solutions that can respond to those challenges at the same time. The credible sustainability schemes have a clear role to play here. And that's, I think, the objective of today's event that was well demonstrated, that we can bring together the leadership from the businesses, we can empower the citizens, and we can rely on robust independent standards, and all that catalyzed by the public policy. And we need not only mandatory rules or not only voluntary standards, we need the mix. We need, as was said by my colleague from DG Environment this morning, it takes two to tango. And we need to get the best mix of these approaches. It is not a choice whether we go mandatory or voluntary. We will need both to work on the sustainability challenge. So we are advancing on this. We have instruments at hand in the EU. We have the Empowering Consumers for the Green Transition Directive, and we are closing in to have the Green Claims Directive, and I hope that we can soon conclude on that. Also, I mentioned the European Climate Law, and all these together should bring us on a solid baseline and a level playing field, both for businesses and for citizens, and give the certainty that is needed. At the same time, the voluntary sustainability standards, which were highlighted throughout the day, and the tools to support their credibility, like the ISEAL Code of Good Practice and the Sustainability Claims Good Practice Guide. These types of instruments are essential. Because we need credible voluntary schemes. We need to enable to set ourselves a higher level playing field, and through that we can enable the leading businesses to go beyond the mere compliance with legislation. And Dr. Marks here earlier today presented a scientific evidence on how the voluntary schemes are actually bringing the desired impact. So the mix of fostering the competitiveness in sustainability, but also limiting unfair competition from the less sustainable or less genuine players allow for bringing the positive differentiation and going beyond the minimum. So the combination of the company approaches, the legal obligations, and the voluntary certification, it all can create a differentiated value and accelerate the market transformation. It distilled the three concrete pillars through a fully smart mix, the lessons that were learned to get the mix right, but also recognizing that this is not one size fits all, and that these need to be tailored. So again, looking at the legislation from the climate side, which I represent, there are numerous references to where the voluntary instruments can and need to add the value, such as the CBAM or the EU taxonomy criteria, CSRD, and so forth. It is a continuous alignment and learning that we need to undertake, and we need to make sure that these pillars can operate together, and that's again going both for the climate targets and for the sustainability targets. Let me take the last part, which is the empowering the consumers and anti-greenwashing legislation. These are very important to give the consumers clear information, allowing how the firms are genuine about their sustainability drive, and at the same time avoiding drowning into paperwork. And in turn, that would that can generate the willingness of consumers to put their money where their sustainability values are. Of course, we know that the public budgets are limited, and maybe even more limited these days. But we should realize that the total household consumption accounts for more than half of the EU GDP. So this is a major lever which can make a difference, and which can be the real investor into sustainability. And in order to do that and to capitalize on that, this needs to be underpinned by an information that is comparable, that is trustworthy, and that is subject to an independent verification. So all that needs to come in a mix. There's various models that have been discussed during the day, and that can move the needle further. The policy hub labs, the data hubs, and the financing coalitions, and they again need to come in concert. Final thing I would mention is that, of course, we talk a lot and act, hopefully, a lot on mitigation of climate change, but the climate change is already with us, and there is. We know that Europe is a continent that is warming twice faster than the global average, and that we already now are committed to a warming of 3 degrees Celsius. And then let's see where we can turn the tide. So we need to be more resilient, we need to be prepared, and we need to also understand how the business resilience can be strengthened through looking at the risks that are posed by climate change, and looking at the opportunities of thinking of resilience by design, making climate resilience as part of the solutions for companies, and as part of their accountability, both to their shareholders and also to citizens. So these are both important parts of the same equation, and I think this is also something that we can think how we can use the voluntary instruments in that effect. So I hope that the full day today was a lot of food for thought from wise people that came together, and that this is a start of a new chapter in the process of making the best use of the mix of the mandatory and voluntary instruments. Thank you, and have a nice rest of the day.